Hey everyone, welcome to another Cats and Rats NHL After Dark. I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside my co-host, Cody Stevens. Nick Levine is away today, but he sends his regards and wish he was here with our guest here in just a second. But before we get to that, I just want to do a little housekeeping items because we're going to have some new people in our chat tonight. So we appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button. Like this video, you can comment on it. We'll get to all your questions after tomorrow morning, whenever you guys get to this on the replay. I know it's a little bit later Eastern Standard Time, so appreciate everyone on the replays in the morning. You can purchase a super chat donation anytime we are live, such as now. You can buy a membership. We'll get into some of our contests later on and access to many other great perks. But we will introduce our guest here today. We are glad to have him here tonight from the Vancouver Canucks YouTube community. He goes by Clay Canucks, Canucks Clay, commentary, Clay Emo. How's it going, Clay?
Hey, guys. Well, thanks for staying up for me. I appreciate it.
No of course. Me and Cody are always up at this time watching West Coast games, right, Cody?
I mean, yeah, we got to get ready for playoffs here. I mean,
not for us.
Which team are you talking about, Cody?
Any of them, really. Minnesota was on the bandwagon until that idiot made that tweet or whatever, but now I think I'm just Buffalo for the East, and I think I might roll with Dallas in the West.
Yeah. So, yeah, that Central Division is going to be a bloodbath, but we might get into that. We might not, but I'm happy to be with you, and thanks to your great community. And Kirby, I know you and I have been bouncing messages up past each other for the past 2 months, so great to be with you guys tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Clay, for being here. And before we go ahead and look what's ahead here later on here with draft talk, lottery talk, all that, Clay, I was in your community at the beginning of the year, and I know you were pretty optimistic potentially on the Canucks season here. A lot of people were picking, maybe third in the Pacific, battling for a wild card position. So what are like the 3 to 5 points? I know a lot of people know the Quinn Hughes trade and all that, but what are the 3 to 5 points that things didn't go quite the way that you maybe envisioned it to start the season here for the Canucks?
Yeah, guys, if you think about this season in a vacuum by itself, it was obviously the Quinn Hughes trade in December. It was actually Demko getting hurt, say, 1 month before that. So you put those two things together within a 4-week span. Your starting goaltender, Vezina, when he's good, he can be a Vezina candidate. He's out, and then Hughes gets traded, and we love the return we got, especially if Hughes doesn't resign in Minnesota. But we love the return we got, but that's going to take a while. So I'd say those two things. And honestly, Adam Foote, good guy, but maybe not the best coach. I was with my season ticket partner tonight at the Canucks game, and he thinks that the Canucks are actually closer to contention than others think if with a proper coach, an experienced coach. So there's 3 factors right there. Injuries, everyone has injuries, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I think Kirby and Cody, if you back up a couple years, the choice to keep Miller over Horvat, that's a big one. And I know that was many, many years ago, but that was a big one. And then, of course, Miller, I'm not saying Petey's the problem, but the whole thing with Miller and Petey. So there's 4 or 5 things right there. Horvat, then Miller getting traded, then Demko getting hurt, then Hughes getting traded. I think those are 4 massive landmark issues, factors for sure.
And Cody, you have a lot of experience watching Canucks hockey, as we talked about there. Our audience knows as well. So you have a lot of follow-ups here. Cody, throw it away.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is the first time we talk about the Canucks all year. I like to keep it under wraps when talking about that team because that team makes me mad. Just like
it's part of your life, Cody, with the relationship you have and everything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this now. They need to strip everything from that front office to the head coach. I'm sorry. Because there are a couple things that, Clay mentioned, and here's my biggest gripe with Canucks management. All right, so you trade Bo Horvat, you get Anthony Beauvillier, a first-round pick, I believe, and some other things. I think Atu Ratu was in that deal as well.
That's correct. Yes.
And you get back, and then you flip that deal for Filip Hronek, which is, he's been a serviceable defenseman for Vancouver, had a really good first year, kind of tapered off the second year, but he's turning into a locker room leader. At least Vancouver's looking at him to be that as of right now during this time of turmoil. My issue is the JT Miller return. They got a first-round pick or whatever for JT Miller, and then flipped it again for Marcus Pettersson, which make no sense at the time, if you ask me, not one whatsoever. Like, because at the time, Miller, the Rangers weren't good. And the first round pick you got back could have been a hell of a lot better than getting Marcus Pettersson. And Marcus Pettersson, you're going to trade next year at the deadline because the team's not that good. Like, it's just, and then the constant, and you traded Connor Garland this year. I don't even think it was for a first. I think it was for like, what, a second?
Second and third. Yep.
Yep. So you get rid of him, and it really just, and you re-sign Brock Besser after the whole ordeal offseason saying, hey, we're not going to re-sign him. Then you do re-sign him, and guess what? He has no value now because guess what? You traded every good center you've had, and PD had a little bit of injury bug this year, and Besser is like not even at 20 goals this season.
He just passed it, Cody. He just passed it.
He passed it. Last time I checked, he was at like 17.
You just mentioned Besser. I heard he might be the future captain of the Canucks. Are you on that train of thought there, Clay?
I have no problem with that. I don't want to interrupt Cody, but yeah, I have no problem with Besser.
Is he even going to be there for that? Like, I'm going to be dead on. Again, no one's picking that contract. Never mind.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Cody?
Cody's been on the Canucks.
Whoa. And the funny thing is, and I'm not just saying this to suck up because I'm on your show. You can boot me at any time. I agree with everything Cody said. I really do. The Marcus Pettersson trade was so short-sighted. Former Penguin, of course, and then they sign him. Right? They sign him right away for a long-term deal. You're right, Cody. If they just waited and see where that first-round pick ended up, then you're already building 3 years ago or 2 years ago. But with Besser, I think when you look at the guys with term, everyone's talking about DeBrusk maybe getting moved instead of Besser. Besser loves Vancouver. He signed. You can argue about the contract all you want. He just hit 20 goals. He seems more of a Vancouver lifer, for better or for worse, than someone like, say, Jake DeBrusk.
I don't know how. Like, I don't know how. He was on trade rumors for like 2 to 3 years. But they just didn't want to move him. Hell, they could have moved him.
I remember that viral pic came out where the girl caught a picture of Besser in his car, and she took a picture with him, and there was a jersey there with some signatures on it and stuff like that. I think. I thought maybe we did trade deadline coverage. We were like,
and
could be on his way up. No, I agree. I'm with Clay on that. I think he's a guy that could be.
Now he is down.
You got to keep some guys around, Cody. Like,
do you at this point?
I think, yeah. I think.
I think that's Hronek at this point, really.
Yeah.
And really, like, I thought getting rid of Sherwood was a good move. I thought you could have waited a bit longer, got a bit better return there. Because if a guy like Nick was getting a first, Kiefer Sherwood was putting 20 goals up a year and 5,000 hits, that's going to get you something a little bit more, especially when it comes postseason time.
Yeah.
And
Cody, I was just going to say, you know what's funny is the Sherwood one, the timing, whether it was a bit earlier, a bit later, we were happy that they made that move, though, because you saw the contract that he signed. Yeah. So when you look at the 4 moves the Canucks made, the big moves they made this year, you can see what they're doing, right? Hughes, Sherwood, Myers, Garland. So taken in a vacuum, all the picks they accumulated and the good players from Minnesota, that's fine. But you're right, Cody. It's the stuff that led up to it. And that's why in Vancouver every day now, they're not talking about if one of the 3 guys are going to get fired, but how many of the 3 between Adam Foote, Patrick Allvin, and Jim Rutherford.
And here's the worst part about the Canucks, and this is what I can't stand. I don't know who's making the decisions. Yeah. Is it Jim Rutherford? Because usually when you have a president of hockey ops, he's usually the one making the decisions, unless it's like, specifically noted that the GM's making the decision, like Toronto with Dubas and Shanahan. Here, I have no idea.
Well, Clay, what do you think is going to happen with the GM situation with Allvin, with Rutherford, and then you have a situation where we as Panther fans, we were very familiar with this before, and Cody might not remember as vividly as me, but ownership meddling, ownership questions.
Well, I didn't even get to that part.
Kind of murky.
I didn't even get to that.
So there are rumors. Yeah, there are rumors that Aquilini meddles a lot, and even actually probably more with our former GM Jim Benning, as you guys remember. But there are a lot of people that are close to the team, a lot closer than I am. I'm not an insider. I'm just a fan who creates, on YouTube, which I'm happy to do. Right? I always say I spend a lot of time, energy, and money on this team by choice. But I've heard reporters actually say, no, actually, that whole thing about Aquilini meddling is kind of overrated. Regardless of what you think there, truly, I think, what's 3 hours ago, I was thinking that Adam Foote's going to go. You need a new coach. Patrick Allvin, you've heard the rumors from Nick Kyprios and others that's saying he thinks he's going to get let go. But I always had in my mind that Jim Rutherford would somehow, he doesn't want to go out this way, right? He doesn't want to ride off like this. He wants to at least figure this thing out. Then I remember that Jim Rutherford is 77 years old, that there's other GMs that are kind of floating out, and presidents that might be kind of become available. So I really don't know, but I'm I'm not a betting man, but I'm willing to bet that Foote and Allvin are not here when the season starts. And Jim Rutherford for me is 50-50. I don't know what you guys think.
Taylor says here in the chat, I think it's
Rutherford making the decisions. If it's Rutherford making the decisions, I don't care who it is. Everybody needs to be gone. You need to start fresh. And I mean, you're going to get a top 3 pick, whether it's Stenberg, McKenna, or Verhoff. You're getting a foundational piece here. I think it's either Stenberg or McKenna here.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Unless you get Verhoff to pair with Bulliam and kind of have the first pair of the future. But the problem is
we'll get
in Vancouver with Aquilini. Well, let's be real. He doesn't want to pay a coach. Like, that's the biggest thing. I mean, he messed around with Tocchet. Who was the coach before that?
Boudreaux.
Oh, who could forget that fiasco? Do we not fire him? Do we fire him? Like
4 years, Cody. Green, Boudreaux, Tocchet, Foote. Imagine a 5th coach in 5 years.
You know what? I just know a damn good one that just came out there on the market. Problem is, he ain't gonna pay him.
And I love Rutherford's transparency, but I wonder how the future lies here with what coach will be next. If you're thinking there's going to be a coach and GM change here, and I think there's parallels. Why I wanted to bring you by here tonight to play. There's parallels between the Panthers, the Leafs, and the Canucks. The 3 teams we're going to get into tonight, and I think where the parallels start and end is this season, because I think next year Florida has higher aspirations. Toronto's like wondering, which we'll get into here in a little bit, what's going to happen. So how do you think it's going to play out this summer with the Canucks? Is there going to be a coach firing, a GM firing?
I do think that Adam Foote will be relieved pretty quickly in April. And I'm sure you guys are sports of other fans of other sports. You know how in football, especially, they fire the coach basically the last Sunday of the season, right? I don't know if it's going to be that.
Black Friday, whatever they call
exactly. I don't know if it's going to be that quick, but I do think they're going to move away from Foote and Allvin, especially
Monday, by the way.
Sorry,
I was correcting Kirby. It's Black Monday.
Black Monday, right? The day after, right? So, and then with Allvin, if you want your own GM or a new GM to help shape the draft, right, and July 1st dealings, then I think you got to move on those two before the end of April, start of May, kind of thing. That's just my thought. It's early, but it's a lot. Yeah.
I just feel like when you had your little run, and that's what it was in 24. Unfortunately, Besser with the blood clots and all that really ended the run right there, because he was the heart and soul guy of that team during that run.
I like that team. Nikita Zadorov.
It was a damn good team. Zadorov, Garland was playing good. Like Elias Lindholm, I thought he found a home in Vancouver. I was like, oh, maybe they finally clicked over here. But then, it was him and Boston all the way, and then Boston signed him for that ridiculous deal.
That's the best that Lindholm played hockey since the Carolina time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm probably ever since like your Calgary had the best first line in hockey and all that.
Yeah.
But it's just when you're going into a deep rebuild like the Canucks are, you got to start fresh, because these two guys are not going to foresee this entire rebuild, because they're just going to end up getting fired in the middle of it, because there's going to be a point where you're going to want to compete right around year 3, year 4, year 5. And those guys have proven to you, proven to the fans and to Aquilini, if he's even watching, they cannot do it. Look, Rutherford hasn't made a good trade since Phil Kessel, and that was damn near 10 years ago.
That was good. That was good.
Cody's got no questions, just commentary.
Look, I've heard it all with this team. I've seen it all with this team. It drives me nuts. And like I said, whenever Kirby mentions the Canucks, I get quiet, because I know it's just this.
I have family in Vancouver as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Cody's in it every day and every week and all that.
And guess what? And like sometimes I wonder, like, why would they riot in 2011? And now I know why. Because it's just absolute mediocrity from here on in. It's been mediocrity since Luongo got traded, and they wanted to roll with, and they traded Luongo and got Markstrom.
By the way, I got you, Cody. We got to share some stuff on the screen. We got some Luongo stuff there. If we do want to transition a bit, we'll talk
tank
about
talk. Let's start with this video our boy Big C's posted.
Okay, I don't know why C's posted this today, because he hasn't been on the tank all year. He said this team's going to be good this year.
You know what's funny? You know how good that tank is? He grew a whole leg. Like, look at his left leg when he falls. He grows a whole one. He sees it fixed.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been in this muck with you this year, Clay, but it's kind of has transpired as throughout the year. There's been people on it not to tank, to tank. We found out we have our pick, which is a top 10 protected pick. So more people jumped on the tank where they wouldn't be on there. So again, we have something to play for when it comes to tank. But you guys are now locked in officially to no worse than a top 3 pick, correct? So have you started to dig in on, I know you said, Kirby, I don't know all the prospects throughout the whole first round, but have you started to dig in on some guys? What's a fit for Vancouver? What do you see as option here?
Yeah, you know what's interesting is I flat out, and it's not even a shtick. I'm not a prospect guy. Like I worry about them after we draft them, right? So but honestly, from the start of this year, especially not the start, after the Hughes trade, everyone basically did a 180 in Vancouver with eyes on the draft, right? We won. You're right. We rattled our first 4 games off after we traded Hughes and then kind of settled into reality. So what's really interesting is this is the first time we've talked about dropping from 3 to 5 before, but we ended up with, that's when we got Levy instead of trying to get Austin Matthews. We dropped from 5 to 7, but guess what? We got Quinn Hughes that year. So actually dropping hasn't hurt us a lot in the past. Having said that, we've never had number 1, right? And drop from number 1 down to 2 or 3. Brian Burke made some shenanigans to get up to 2 and 3 or 1 and 2, whatever you want to say, to get the Sedins. Awesome, back in 1999. But we've never had number 1 and drop from it. So there are a lot of Canucks fans, doomsayers who are worried, it's going to be typical Canuck luck. But we've never been in this position before. So as you know, the beacon of optimism, I'm confident that we are going to win this lottery. I'm confident that we are going to pick number 1. And I think coming out of World Juniors, you guys, a lot of it was Stenberg over McKenna. Then it was that, the whole thing that McKenna's legal troubles, which seem to be clear. Then it was obviously there's so much history of Swedes in Vancouver, right? There's all these things. But when you look at ceiling, when you look at what's going to ignite this market, I think Gavin McKenna is going to ignite this market. And Ivor Stenberg, he'll be great. He's probably even more ready, but he's not going to ignite this market. So if we win the lottery, I'm on Team McKenna for sure.
That's interesting that Clay says there, Cody, that Stenberg wouldn't ignite the market because of the Swede connection and the different connections that and the parallels that have been made there, that he could end up in Vancouver. And they would be looking at him, I think, over other teams as well.
But going with McKenna would be a different type of draft for the Canucks. Because I always feel like the Canucks always go for the smooth or silky type of guys, like he mentioned, Olli Levy. And like in the past, I'm blanking on like Jake Virtanen years ago. Yep. It's just, and McKenna has a bit of that little snarl to him. I think Vancouver's been missing ever since, Ryan Kessler has left or JT Miller now has left. Kind of just that extra edge. And I see why he would want McKenna. And look, if you get Gavin McKenna, guess what? There's going to be every seat in that building will be filled to watch that kid night in and night out. There will not be jerseys will be sold out within 15 minutes of him being drafted. Because
that's such a great point, Cody, because we are actually tomorrow, funny enough, is the deadline for season ticket renewals. And you can imagine just how many people are canceling, right? They said, I don't know, it's hard to resell. It's hard to give them away. It's hard to everything. But my buddy and I, my season ticket partner, Mike, and I were talking about this at the game today, is McKenna moves jerseys, moves tickets, Cody, more than Stenberg would, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, and that's interesting as well, because does that change your outlook, Clay? Does that change, your community, your fans? If you get that first overall pick this year, what are your expectations going to next year? Because I've heard your guys' commentary. I've heard other Canucks community talking about the following year, Landon Dupont. And I was corrected. He's not a Vancouver Canucks fan. He was a Quinn Hughes fan. So he was more of a player fan, but he had his eye on the Canucks. So there was that angle there too. So say Calgary wins it or the Rangers, some other team wins it. Well, you guys got next year to look forward to as well.
Yeah, well, that's why you don't want to fall to 3. Like if you get McKenna or Stenberg, and yes, I know Verhov is high, but there's other names that Chase Reed and Malhotra. But what's funny is if we think we're going to be bad here again for another year, Dupont is the right shot D-man we want, right? So maybe we kind of avoid Verhov or Reed this year because you
get Malhotra or something, right?
Yeah,
he works with his dad is coaching Abbotsford, right?
Yeah,
that is correct.
Yeah. Manny Malhotra, which would.
Look, right? Is he ready next year though, Cody, Clay?
I'm not too sure For the Canucks, they may wait a year. But
does Manny come into play with the head coaching job so you don't lose him, Clay?
That's a crazy thing. Kirby, great point. He got passed over or whatever. He signed the new contract to be with Abbotsford, and the thought was once Foote is gone, then is that Malhotra? But then people forget, does Malhotra even want to coach this team? Like, it sounds so bad to say, but maybe if Malhotra, he led Abbotsford to Calder Cup last season, bad season this year, but it's organizationally is bad. Maybe he's going to be in demand from other teams, not just Vancouver. So it's so fascinating that way. One thing, Cody, we were talking about, let's say we draft McKenna or Stenberg. Are they NHL ready? Will they be part of this team already? Don't forget, there's Braden Coots as well, who was our first round draft pick last year. And I think they're kind of hoping that he steps into a third or fourth line center spot as well. So between Coots, Lekaramaki, who got injured, and say McKenna or Stenberg, that's 3 forward spots you got to open up, right? In your top 12.
Yeah. And to be young, and that's kind
that won't be hard. That will not be that hard. I mean, bye Ty Mueller.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And you're probably gonna end like.
I thought Connor Garland was going to be one of the guys that was going to stick around.
Yeah, he was an interesting.
I thought he would be with maybe like DeBrusque and with Besser.
He was such an interesting one because I always felt like he played with his heart on his sleeve for Vancouver.
Yeah,
I never felt like he was like quitting on the team whatsoever. Like during that playoff run, he was like a big spark plug for him. It was just that one was a bit, but the contract was good enough to move because I think he's only making $5.5 or whatever.
Yeah,
not really that much. And Columbus probably needed him more, and they got him. But
what's interesting, guys, is the narrative was Garland's extension, Besser's extension, and Demko, right? The 3 American guys were done to help convince Quinn Hughes to stay. But it's come out that Quinn Hughes had probably made his mind up even before that, to be honest with you.
I think he had his heart set on New Jersey, but they let Tom Fitzgerald know that he wasn't happy. He wasn't able to get that done.
Well, our guy Jersey Jim Berenger said he wasn't going there. And
another guy that probably needs to, hit the hay too. I know he's a former Panther, but
I like Cody's style. He's ruthless here. I like it.
He's fired up. I know Cody can get like this, but I didn't know he was going to be to this level tonight.
I like it.
Cody's been sleepwalking through this last couple months here with all the Panthers.
Because it's like a freaking guess who game. Oh, guess who got injured tonight? I'm like,
We'll get into the Panthers later when we say bye to Clay. We do have another segment here, Cody, but do you have that Luongo stuff ready? Because I want to wish Roberto Luongo a happy birthday today. I know the Panthers' social media pages didn't. And Clay, I understand if the Canucks don't do that. He's not currently with the Canucks organization, but he is with the Florida Panthers here. Here's a picture of you with Roberto Luongo that we wanted to share. You could tell us a little story here, but I will wish Roberto Luongo a happy birthday, even if our social media interns will not.
I guess I should too, because he is my favorite Canucks player of all time. I won't. I could go on and on, but really quickly. So this was this is the night where he got his name put in. His jersey wasn't retired, as you guys know, but he was put in our Ring of Honor. So that was that night here, and I think. The reason why I like him so much, he obviously backstopped us to that run in 2011, maligned by the media a little bit. Then, as you know, started his whole Strongbone Twitter account, and then really, really became a lot more likable. But when he left town, you guys might know I do some parody. I used to when it was cool. I did a bunch of parody songs on my channel with my good friend Marie, and we did a Boyz II Men song, "End of the Road," about Luongo, his end of his tenure with the Vancouver Canucks. He actually reached out to me by DM to thank me and said that was very classy, and it was pretty cool. And then I asked him to be on my channel, and he quickly blocked me. No, I'm just kidding. He did not block me, but. But he did reach out to me and say, thank you. That was very classy. I appreciate it. And so just even that small interaction. So, I got to see him at the game a couple of seasons ago, and that's the picture there. Thank you. Thanks for letting me share.
You know, it's funny. This is where it shows really my age, but I know how big he was, how big he is, he currently is in the South Florida community, but in my head, he's always a Canuck. That's just how young I am. Because I didn't know he was the Panther till 2 years after I started watching hockey. Because I was 8, I didn't know.
And Cody didn't know any better, but Clay, I was in a dark depression for 24, 48 hours a day of that trade. It's like, and living in Canada, Clay, around the clock, it's in my face. It's in my face. Like, I cannot escape it. And what happened is a lot of Panther fans, I can speak for it in Canada, and I'm pretty sure it happened in down in South Florida stuff. Fans left after that. They were fans of their team. They're like, who's this Alexander Ovechkin guy? Who's this Crosby guy? They became player fans or fans of other teams. Like it really lost fan base.
We did try for Ovechkin, but it was the leap year thing. We did try. I can't fault. That's right. I can't fault us for trying here. But Kirby, thanks for leading me into the segment I created here. But because boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. We want to ask Clay about the Leafs, but we can do this.
Yeah, no. But because this is pretty funny if you ask me, because the Vancouver Canucks and the Florida Panthers have done a lot of business over the years. And the reason why I have both of you guys' rankings up here, because I want Clay with the Canucks perspective and I want Kirby with the Panthers perspective. You guys are going to be blind ranking trades between the Florida Panthers and the Vancouver Canucks.
Okay.
1, you love the deal. 5, you burn the city down.
So we love the deal from our perspective. So I love it from the Panthers' perspective.
Yes. Yep.
5. Okay. KQ says hi here, Clay. He's a big fan.
Thank you.
Even the people in the chat could play along here.
Oh, that's awesome.
But look, I had to do a little research here. So, but blind ranking trade number 1, the Pavel Bure trade, which was Pavel Bure, for Ed Jovanovski, and a bunch of other stuff. Where do you guys rank this trade on your list?
Play?
Well, I already know what I got to keep for number 1, so I'll go number 2.
Number 2.
So
this is trading Bure away for Jovo, right?
Yes.
For Jovo.
Okay, well, drop him down. We'll go number 3 then, because I just have a feeling I'm missing one. Yeah, we'll go number 3.
So speak on that just a little bit, Clay, just shortly. The Jovo side, you got to see him as an Olympian. The team started to turn around with him.
Yeah, high risk, high reward defenseman, right? Beautiful skater. Never knew what was going to happen when he got his hands on the puck, but he passionate, stand up for his teammates, tough. Now I said all this, I probably should put it number 2, but I got to stick with what I said. So, and of course, Pavel Bure, best player we've ever had. So it's always tough to give that up, but things weren't going right here. So they had to move him, and they moved him for Jovo.
All right, Kirby.
I might steal what Clay said. Maybe I'm putting it too high, and this is how dark and despair the Panthers' history has been, Clay. But the Canucks and Florida trades, right, Cody? I think I got to put this too. Like, I know Bure, it was like a supernova, as bright as it was. It burnt out, but like it was awesome. 2 Rocket Richard trophies. I hated losing Jovo in the deal, but it's still like it changed. We use this culture word this week. It changed the culture in Florida, and it brought a lot of butts in the seats, sold a lot of jerseys. I still wear my Bure jersey, so I'll go 2.
All right. So next up here, I have the Luongo trade part 1.
So coming to Vancouver.
All
right. Cody, you didn't have to ask me, man. Put it up there. Number 1.
Alex Old. Yeah. And I know exactly where to put it for Kirby. So
I don't even want to say the goalie's name that we got in the deal. I don't even want to say the defenseman's name. And Todd Bertuzzi, you looked great for 1 game with 5 points. You did nothing after that. Put it dead effing last. Don't even rank it. Look at the parallels there. Oh man, I didn't like anyone in that trade. Clay.
Okay, next up here,
you got Alden Allen, right? That's what it was.
Brian Allen, Ald, and
Todd Bertuzzi.
Yeah,
didn't like any of them.
Okay. Next up here, we're gonna go with the Eric Gabranson trade, which was Eric Gabranson going to Vancouver in exchange for a 2nd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and then prospect or former 1st-round pick, Jared McCann.
I'll let Clay go first because I have strong views on this.
And this is me anticipating, Cody, what I think you have as your other 2. You're not giving us more than 5, right?
I'm only giving 5.
Okay, put this in number 5 for me. Yeah.
Oh, the Gabranson deal, number 5?
Yeah.
All right.
This is us.
This is us getting Gabranson, right, and giving away those 3 assets you just talked about, right? Yeah. No, put it number 5 for me.
All right.
I really like Goodbranson, and I didn't like that we were getting rid of him. But oh man, I want to put it 4, Cody. I really do, but we did get some assets back in return. Maybe just let's put it in the middle at 3.
This is fascinating. Kirby still has his number 1 slot open. Interesting.
All right.
Yes, I do. You don't know what it is, huh, Clay?
I think I know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
You know what?
Unless I'm forgetting one. If I'm forgetting one in here, I really.
There's a couple that I left off.
Cody
here.
did not prepare me for this, Clay.
That's good.
There's a couple. There's a couple. Like,
there's one I'm thinking of that I might.
There's slash right here that I'm debating which one I want to do.
But I don't like Jared McCann that much. But I wanted to put it 4. But we got 3 assets back in that deal.
Okay.
What were those picks? They were nobodies, right? Turned into nothing.
I don't even know. We probably traded them. Don't matter. It was Tom Rowe. Don't matter. Next up here, the trade. This trade broke my heart. And David Booth to Vancouver in exchange for Mikhail Samuelsson.
And Marco Sturm, I believe.
Probably, I don't remember.
Okay.
I just remember.
You got to say the deal.
I just remember David Booth got traded.
It was a 2-for-1. I think it was Sturm. And
I just remember David Booth got traded, and my heart broke.
You guys, you know what's
Panther game, by the way, Clay.
Oh, I did not know that. You know what's so funny? I was, as you guys know, I'm a Christian. When Booth came over, I didn't know he was like a bit of a weirdo, but like I knew that he was a Christian, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get his jersey. I have one of my very first pictures in my iPhone is me holding up my new David Booth jersey. So for that, and anticipating what you're gonna say for your 5th one, I'm going number 4. Booth trade number 4 for me.
Okay.
Booth trade number 4.
See, it didn't work out. This is a trade that Dale Talon won. And I was hurt. Booth was my favorite guy, but Talon read the writing on the wall, Clay, before anyone around the NHL did.
Talon didn't lose a lot of trades.
He knew that David Booth was not going to be a 35, 40 goal scorer. And that's what he was trending to be, Clay, until he got that concussion on my birthday, by the way.
Concussion and then knee on knee as well.
Knee on knee and a secondary concussion as well. What do I have left? Thoughts?
Yeah,
I will go.
4.
We won a division title that year. We did win the trade, but I hated losing Booth. I could have it higher, but I don't have many spots left. It's gotta be 4.
All right.
But I hate having the McCann ahead of that one because we won a division title with that and everything.
Okay. This is where blind rankings are pretty funny.
Yes.
Because I knew what you guys think was going to be the next trade.
Don't try to trick us.
I have it right here on my phone. The trade you guys are thinking about, I don't have on here.
Well, come on, Cody.
It is Olli Levy for Noah Juleson and Juho Lammikko.
No, you're pulling our leg. That's not real.
Nope.
Not real. You have to have the Jacob Markstrom and Roberto Luongo trade on here.
I know, but look, you want to see my notes?
No.
We believe you. We believe you, but
right there.
Yeah.
What is he doing, Clay?
Well, we believe you, but obviously Cody knew what we were doing too. But joke's on us, I guess.
Okay. I don't even want to acknowledge that one. Can we talk about the Luongo Markstrom one play?
I debated whether
2 and I would have had it 1, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's where I was thinking before we got on here.
Clay, tell us about that trade and what your feelings were like, because obviously I was so upset with Luongo being moved, and when I found out on my smartphone coming home from university or classes or whatever, I was like, I can't believe we're getting Luongo back.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, guys, is as you guys know, he takes us to the Cup final. Then Corey Schneider supplants him for a year, and then Schneider gets traded in the pick that we used to take Bo Horvat, and now it's back to Luongo and Eddie Lack, right? And then John Tortorella comes in, and he starts Eddie Lack over Luongo in our version of our outdoor classic, which was actually covered in our dome. How's that work? And then 1 week later, Luongo's on his way to Florida. I didn't know a lot about Markstrom. We just heard that he was the best goalie, not in the NHL just yet, right? So, given the writing on the wall, I think people were sad to see Luongo go, but they knew that it was just irreconcilable between him and Tortorella. So there was a lot of unknown, and we can't just use hindsight, but what else can we go on? Markstrom was great for us. He really was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe the throw into the deal was I called him Mr. March, Sean Matthias.
Yeah, Matthias and a guy who I just looked it up.
Was it
after.
Steve Anthony?
Yeah, Steve Anthony. Very good, Cody. Yeah, very good.
So No, I remember that day. I was coming home from school,
Yeah, same. Cody.
and then I saw Luongo. I'm like, oh, and I know it's funny. I was happy got Luongo, but I loved Jean Matthias growing up.
Oh yeah, we call him Mr. March, but we didn't play too many meaningful games in March.
March, no,
Clay, like
but he always played fast and he played hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and he was always very noticeable out there. He was kind of like Lomberg before Lomberg was in Florida a bit,
Right.
except he didn't fight as much.
And it was fun watching those guys with Vancouver as Cody watches them. I watched them on the second doubleheader back-to-back game. Sean Matthias, David Booth, see them fly out there, miss them as Panthers, but it was neat to see them,
But at the time, I don't know if like you Canucks fans even realize this, the Panthers were in goaltending hell before that. And I'm not saying that by any stretch of imagination lightly, because this was after we got rid of Thomas Vokoun.
Yep.
We had Jose Theodore for a year.
Yeah.
Remember Tim Thomas? Yeah, he played for us.
Don't bring that up, Cody.
Dan Ellis. Freaking Markstrom when he was super.
Yanni Herme or something.
Super rare.
I don't know. Can't remember all the goalies.
The ghost of Scott Clemenson.
Yeah.
Like, we were in hell. And like in Markstrom, this was back when the San Antonio Rampage were an AHL team. So that was our AHL affiliate at the time. And Markstrom he was so rare. Jamie Anderson he got traded before Vokoun left. So
we got a question here for Clay, and I appreciate you doing that, Cody. That was awesome.
That was Cody. By the way, just before Kirby, you say that, Cody, after it became very clear that you weren't going to do Luongo Part 2 as the fifth one, I actually thought you were going to, just to grind my gears, talk about the way that Gustav Forsling got to you. Because we had him. We traded him to Chicago. Then, if I understand, he goes to Carolina, gets waived, and then you guys picked him up, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a good segue.
Canucks draft pick.
This is a good segue.
Yeah.
This is a good segue, Clay, because Adonis here on the chat, his favorite player is Gustav Forsling. But he has a question here for Canucks defenseman. Thoughts on Hronek this year, Clay? Also good to meet you.
Yeah, thank you, Adonis. Good to meet you too. I presume loyal follower of your guys' channel. Hronek's been our MVP. He actually has been our MVP this season, especially even when Hughes was with the team. Hronek was right there with them, and he really picked up. And what's interesting that a lot of non-Vancouver Canucks fans might not know is the Canucks are really propping Hronek up to potentially be the next captain. You might say, well, what the heck? The guy can't even, he can't. He doesn't speak a lot to the media. He's always short with the media. But everyone's raving about his practice habits, the way he leads on the bench, in the locker room. So it depends what you want in a captain, right? Does he have to be the most media savvy? Does he got to be respected by his teammates? Set a good example. All those things could be true, but his name is being bandied as a potential captain for next year if they go that way. So yeah, he's been great. He's easily our best defenseman, and I'd say the MVP of our season.
We got another question here. Yeah, and I've heard him as captaincy, as Clay mentioned there. From Thorns of Chaos, this is our guy Jamie. Will Connor Bedard want to join the Canucks after how terrible they have become? Jamie can sometimes be a prisoner of the moment, but go ahead.
There was always this hope that Bedard would do his 7 years in Chicago and then come on home. There's always this hope that Celebrating would join him a year later. Wouldn't that be amazing? But I don't. Yeah, it's pretty cool that those two guys came from this area, but I don't think that's going to happen as much as we want it to. Yeah.
I don't know if we see anything else there, Cody, in the chat. We do have one segment left with
that we do.
And it is, gentlemen, I know this wasn't designed for Clay here, but we got to talk about it. What's going on in Leafland here?
Which one do you want me to show?
Maybe they're looking at Alvin. Isn't Alvin classified as an analytics guy, a data guy? This is what they're looking at right now, Cody. Go ahead, Cody.
These are the odds right here for the next round. Maple Leafs general manager. Number 1, Doug Armstrong. Number 2, Brandon Pridham. Number 3, the Florida Panthers' own Sonny Mehta. Number 4, Bill Scott. Number 5, Chris Pronger.
So what are your thoughts here, guys? Clay, I'm a Western Canadian. You're a West Coast Canadian. We talk about the Leafs. We hear about the Leafs. We can't avoid the Leafs. So what are your thoughts on all this circus, this kind of mess that it's turned into this year? And they're now in the same boat as us, Clay, as the Panthers and Canucks going into lottery. And they might not keep their pick because it's only top 5 protected.
Yeah, as much as the whole, and you know this, Kirby, living in Canada, as much as this whole West Coast, East Coast, even though they're not on the East Coast, but you know what I mean, Central Canada, Vancouver, Toronto, blah, blah, blah. I don't disdain the Leafs. I do chuckle once in a while when they get blasted in a Game 7 or whatever, but I have nothing against them. But no one could have predicted their fall from grace. And was it the loss of Marner? Was it because they don't have good defense? Like they got decent goaltending. They're not very deep up front, right? And then Matthews' injury. So there's a lot that's happened. But I don't wish ill will on anyone. It just has Doug. Maybe I'm stating the obvious because of those odds that you showed, Cody. It just feels like a Doug Armstrong type move. It just does for some reason. I don't know. Am I being too kind of naive there?
Well, Doug Armstrong, Cody, Peter DeBoer, or are they looking elsewhere? I don't know if they can go with an unproven like Sonny Manda. I know our fan base loves the guy, but I think you're putting him into a real tough jam job situation there. If you name Pronger as president, Maida as like the GM, I don't know if something like that works out, Cody.
It's such a weird spot because the way their CEO Keith Pelly had a press conference the other day, one of the worst press conferences I ever heard, by the way. It was laughable. It was laughable. Clay, he said in the press conference, and I quote, "We did not see the Montreal Canadiens coming." He said that.
Yeah, that's.
I've been to Montreal.
If he said Buffalo, okay, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Montreal, you kidding me?
In his own division, the only team that could rival the rabid fan base, right? And literally one province over. How can you not see that?
And Clay, he's naming their prospects on Montreal and Buffalo. By the way, he said Michael Hayes' name wrong, but he's naming them like he's in these meetings and he knows what he's talking about.
He said his own prospect names wrong. Here's the thing. And with Montreal, they have, and you didn't see them coming. They're going to have the second and third place guy in the Calder this year with Demidov and Dobash. To me, Schaefer's my Calder winner right now. Gun in my head right now, that's my Calder winner. But it's just, and he said he would like to go president of hockey ops and then GM. But here's the issue with president of hockey ops and GM. The same problem in Vancouver. You don't know who's making the decisions here. It just becomes that kind of conundrum. And if you bring in like a guy like Doug Armstrong, there is no way in hell he's going to take a GM job where there's going to be a guy above him. With all the experience he's done, with the resume he has.
Jamie's saying Brett Peterson from Florida, he could work well with Chris Pronger. But again, this is a different, unique situation in Toronto where you're putting guys into spots for the first time. And because they want data guys or they want analytics guys, I think it's a real tough sell. You got to know how to, and Clay, you know, you got to know how to work and work the market. Like Vancouver, I would say, just below Montreal and Toronto, you got to have a PhD in media and communications, you know?
Yeah, you got to be able to know what you're doing. That's for sure, Kirby.
Yeah.
I mean, Vancouver's the only Canadian team that doesn't share what a province with anyone besides Winnipeg.
Say that again? Sorry, we're the only.
Vancouver and Winnipeg are the only two Canadian teams that don't share a province with another team.
With another team from the province.
Yeah, you're right. Ottawa,
we don't think about that.
Ottawa, Ontario, Toronto, Ontario, Quebec.
No, Montreal. Yeah, Montreal's the only one.
Used to be Quebec. Yeah.
Well, technically, there should be two, but.
So, if you had to give advice, Clay, here before we do our tankathon here, wrap up, what advice would you give the Leafs if they were listening to you?
The Leafs or Leafs fans? Leafs, right?
The Leafs, what?
Do it for the fans.
Either one.
Okay. For the Leafs fans, I don't know. There's, I guess, what do they say? Misery loves company, right? So that's the whole point of the way you framed tonight's show is us, Florida, and Toronto, right? We're all for the Leafs themselves. I don't know. You know, to be honest with you, I don't know enough about them. I do see some high-priced talent, obviously, on there, but I do think for what it's worth, they saw that they have to start changing it, and that started with, you know, the whole Marner thing. So Morgan Riley's now, right? They always make one defenseman like the target of their vitriol. So right now it's Morgan Riley. So do you have to make a change there? Do you have to get younger? Goaltending, like I said, is okay. I just think they got to, and I don't know, maybe you guys know better. I don't know a lot about their prospect pool. So are they considered a strong? Probably not, right?
They moved one guy out in the Boston deal where they might not have their pick this year, and they moved Fraser.
And the said guy that they moved is, I think, 2 or 3 goals off from being a 20-goal scorer.
Yeah.
But the problem is with Toronto
they are deep in net in the prospect pool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but they're going to have to trade one.
Yeah, they got 4 NHL caliber guys.
Wow.
Who's the fourth one?
Akimanoff or whatever.
No. All right.
I'm telling you.
No.
Cody said the same thing about Jacob Fowler, Clay, so you know.
I believe it. You can say anything about them, and I wouldn't know. So I'll just say yes. Good job.
He had one good game. He got shelled the next. Grad. He's a rookie. He's still 2-3 years away.
No, we'll see. We'll see this year. But what were you saying, Cody, on Toronto?
But if you really look at Toronto's GM position, it's not an attractive position by any stretch of the imagination. Because really, Austin Matthews is basically on a short-term deal, and you got to turn this thing around damn quick in order for him to stay.
And people want to rebuild. They said retool, and Nylander's will stay for the retool, but I ain't staying for the rebuild.
And you have
so the players are holding them hostage, Clay.
Yeah, and then the media is going to be on your ass about every little thing. You don't, unless you get a top 5 pick. Guess what? You don't have a first round pick this year, so you can't even start this retool off correctly in a deep draft. And
you got to wait another year or the year after. And then you're trying to win now is what they're saying, right?
With the salary cap going up and going up and going up, guess what? All the teams are just keeping their own free agents right now. So the only way to really get a good player is through trade. And the only guy that could possibly be available that could even slightly change your outlook is Alex Tuck. And let's be real, it's a far cry of like what free agency used to be. Remember 2019, Panarin, Bobrovsky just headlining it. Freaking, I'm blanking now. Oh man, why am I blanking so bad on this other? Oh, Duchesne, another guy.
Yeah.
And now you're just gonna go to Alex Tuck, and you have all this cap space, and guess what? No one wants to play for the Leafs. No one does.
Yeah.
And this is where out west, Clay, you guys might look at it like, hey, it's kind of dark right now, but you get some picks in the draft, you start turning it around. You're going to fly by teams like Toronto that are in this situation, in the same spot that we're in this season, that you're in this season. And it's like, what's the direction there, right? So I think Vancouver is one of the smart teams actually this year that kind of saw the writing on the wall. And I know what they had to sell to Quinn Hughes and things like that we talked about earlier. But I think one of the smart teams here, you get one or two of these guys, top 3 into the draft. You saw how quick it turned around with the New York Islanders this year. You saw with San Jose Sharks, right? So it's possible. I've been trying to tell you guys that, right? It's like, and I've seen our rebuild after rebuild not getting the right guys. Look, this is the draft to get right, and next year is
the one thing about Vancouver has going for him is I've never seen a player not want to stay there. Vancouver is a beautiful city. The fan base is rabid. They're passionate when the Canucks are very good. Look at that home crowd game 5 when Miller scores with like 30 seconds to go. And it's and British Columbia is probably one of the nicer places in all of Canada. The hell with Ontario, BC's way better.
When was the last time you were here, Cody?
Probably a year ago.
Awesome.
Clay, I grew up summers in Kelowna, West Bank.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You're right. It's a beautiful place. It used to be a destination for free agents. It's bloody expensive to live here, but where is it not, right? But these are hockey players. We're not talking about like a youth worker like me. But so I think that ultimately, maybe a good draft or two, a couple of strong seasons, and people will start to see the Canucks as on the up and up. Last thing I'll say, and I know we got to get to Tankathon, but Buffalo. You guys know those are expansion cousins or sisters or brothers, whatever you want to say. And to see them so good with 100 points, to see us so bad with 52 points, it's kind of fascinating. If they, God forbid, go on to win the cup, even more so, this fan base is going to lose it.
I want to go back to 1970. That was my dad's draft year. He was 1 game away from playing against Gilbert Perreault. Gilbert Perreault went number 1 overall. Dale Talon went number 2 to Vancouver. So
yes, that is correct.
About draft history there. That's as close as you guys got to, like, that superstar type player.
Yep. You're right.
I don't think he ever hit generational.
And Jamie, why the Flames didn't get Tish? Because Tish was picked before they got to him.
Utah wasn't giving him up there.
Yeah. And so, but like rolling a tankathon here.
Yeah, we're gonna get Clay to load it up here. We'll give Clay.
All right.
Cody rolled the Calgary Flames earlier today. This is our first 2-a-day. We were live earlier today, and I'm like, we got to get Clay to do it, Cody. So
look, I'm not upset.
Cody wanted to roll Calgary, I guess. There.
Look,
so Cody, Clay, go ahead here.
So all I got to do is hover over this sim lottery and press it once, correct?
Yes.
You can give us a countdown. And now, Cody, is it refreshed? Current
yes, it is. The Panthers are currently have the 6th best odds to get the first overall pick. Vancouver, you see that little dot right next to their number 1 pick? That means they are locked into that spot since they have clinched the number 1.
So Clay can only go downhill from here.
All right. I'm gonna bring my best Canuck Clay luck to this. I don't even know what I'm hoping for. I know it's not real, but it's fun nonetheless. In 3, 2, and 1, kabam! Oh, no!
That is worst case scenario right there.
Well, you got the third. We talked about that spot there. Where did you bump us, Cody? Well,
We fell the 8th because somehow Seattle moved up 7 spots.
Cody, you know what, Clay? I love this because Cody makes fun of Seattle all the time. He calls them mid. He makes fun of me. I love my guy, Brandon.
They're mid as hell.
Well,
yeah,
well, they've got a superstar. They've got Gavin McKenna to build around in the Emerald City.
I'm with Cody. That's ridiculous. That's
That's
okay,
a geographical rival there,
yeah.
Clay.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm glad you brought the word up, Kirby, as rival. Rivalries are based on 2 things: playoff series or some nasty incident, right? Where everyone's like trying to beat the crap out of each other. We have none of these. The most was like Tyler Myers cross-checking one of their guys in the head once. So, but obviously, I just talked about Vancouver, Buffalo. It would be horrible if Seattle attained success faster than we do.
It's like right down. It's like right down the street too.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like Vancouver's never necessarily had any big rivals in my lifetime. The biggest one was probably Boston, but that was just because they beat you guys in the Cup final.
Yeah, you're right. Chicago before that, because 3 straight playoff appearances, and then Boston, and then really, you're right, Cody. Nothing since.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. The Panthers used to be so damn irrelevant. Now everybody hates us. Like everyone hates us now. Like it's just like the Florida eliminated tweet. Like we'll show that after the break here.
Sure.
All the comments are like, no sympathy. Like
they're just jealous, but they're just jealous, bro. The 2 cups will do that to people.
Hey, listen, as Patrick once said, I got 2 Stanley Cup rings plug in my ear.
That's what we say all the time now. Clay, it's been awesome having you here. We're going to have you again here in the offseason, maybe after the draft lottery, maybe after the draft.
Would love to.
I feel, if things go the way that we both want.
Hey, I would love for you guys to get McKenna and us get Verhoff. We're all going to be happy there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Celebrate on that. Yeah.
I'll take that, Cody. I'll take that.
So, Clay, where can everyone follow you? I did put in our show notes descriptions your YouTube channel page. So everyone on our channel, Cats Rats, make sure to hit that subscribe button on Clay's page. Join them late night. They always go late. But let everyone know what you're doing, Clay, here. What's ahead?
Appreciate that. So on my YouTube channel, mostly based actually on live streams. I do 5 of them a week, all at 11 p.m. Pacific. So that's a little bit late for but you guys can catch the replay for your audience. But yes, that is the bread and butter of my show, my channel right now. So it's Canuck Clay on YouTube. It's also Canuck Clay on X, where I will react to games. I'm season ticket holder, long-time season ticket holder, and that's kind of like the flair that I bring. Very positive. It's not a shtick. It's just my outlook on life. It's been hard to be positive this season, but there's enough storylines and enough. I'm all about building the community, Kirby. That's how I met you. That's now I've met Cody, which is awesome, and others from your community. So just very grateful, very blessed, and really, bottom line, I recognize this is a game. This is entertainment. I choose to spend time, energy on money. No one's forcing me to, but I love chatting about it. I love meeting like-minded fans, whether they're of the Canucks or of other teams like you guys. So I'm blessed to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Clay, before you leave and before we go to ad break, Cody, Clay always does something. I know his dog's barking. At the end of his stream, you always do a joke to end it off. Give me a joke.
Yeah.
Clay.
All right. Let's. This is the worst one. What cheese is not your? Should you not take? What cheese is not yours?
We're not supposed to answer it, but we just let him.
Nacho cheese.
Hit the drum, Cody.
Oh. Sorry, Cody. That was not my finest work.
You're put on the spot.
No, that's his shtick. It's fun. I love it.
I gotta remember. He's got to ask his question, Kirby.
I'm happy to answer.
Or no,
I'll just tell my dog.
I guess C's had told you to ask Clay a question real quick.
I'm just scrolling up to see what he asked. C's.
I have.
Oh, it might be the one about content creation. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So I'll actually end with this. Thank you guys for giving me the platform. And if my dog's barking, that's fine.
I think he's a Jets fan there.
Yeah, so I've never met Jesse Pollock. I find some of his stuff good, entertaining, but I do like how he puts himself out there. And it's kind of like what I told Kirby just before we came on the air, actually. There are a lot of content creators. There's a lot of space in this YouTube space. You guys know this too. There's a lot of space for content creation. And if people are passionate, if people are knowledgeable, and they're genuine, and they want to share their fandom, all power to them. So that's what I love about being a content creator is the platform to share my views. But I never pretend I'm an insider. I never pretend I'm a media guy. I'm just a fan who spends a lot of time, energy, money. You heard me say that 3 times now. But I do think that with all these Canucks content creators coming up, which is fine, kind of a weird season to do that, actually. You usually come in when they're doing really well. It's very important that we are all innovating, that we're all not complacent, that we are not borrowing or copying or stealing from others. You can do that for a little bit, but I think the ones that are going to stand up, a crowd, the ones that are going to survive are the ones that are innovating. I think you guys innovate the way that you do your After Dark, the way that you do your live streams, the way that you are trying different things, bring on different guests. That's good. It's better than just being on there and talking to yourself or whatever. So that's the way I would answer Big C's is I love being a content creator. It gives me a medium, but I'm always challenging myself. I'm one of the older ones, right? There's all these young whippersnappers coming in. They're probably better with tech. They're probably better with AI. They're probably better with this. But what I want to show is how genuine I am and how much I care about the community that we are building. And that's, if that means a lot of subs, not a lot of subs, a lot of donations, not a lot of membership, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to build community. So sorry for the long-winded answer.
Hey,
No, and Clay, I think that's what I agree with the community word there, Cody. That's what we try to do here. You, me, Nick, Caesar. That's what we're trying to do.
But that answers why you've built such a great community, Clay.
Thank you, brother.
It was an honor to meet you.
Yep.
I will be around a little bit now just to always show some support, and especially for the Canucks, because I hear about it all the time. So
yeah, let me know next time you're up here, Cody. It seems for you, Kirby, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
No problem. That will be on the docket. But anyway, as we say goodbye to our boy Clay Canuck once again, check out his channel and everything he does over there. Look, you got to support all, especially these teams creators. These guys are doing it for the love of the team.
The Sharks ones, the Canucks this year, the Flames.
These are the creators that are in it for the long haul. The ones that are kind of covering these dark seasons, especially because at least the Panthers, we could say, oh, we'll make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, just
Vancouver. They don't even know who their coach is going to be next year. But anyway, Clay, we appreciate
all the best in the draft lottery.
All the best.
Thanks, guys.
I hope you guys win. Genuinely, I really do.
All right. Let's do it again. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
but
Clay.
as we say goodbye to Clay, let's hear a word from our sponsor, CatsNR.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And let's hear another word from other sponsor, Jeremy Beckham at Beck Sells FLA. Champions don't settle, and neither should you. Let me introduce Jeremy Beckham at Beck Sells FLA, bringing the competitive edge to South Florida luxury real estate. If you want a home that performs in all 3 zones, location, lifestyle, and long-term value, Jeremy is your power play. The clock is ticking. Let's go for Verhoff. Reach out now at becksellsfla.com.
Cody, lately you've been saying, let's go for the cup. The cup.
I know, but now that the E's next to our name, we ain't going for that no more. But ladies and gentlemen, our April giveaway is this Anton Lundell signed championship puck. Gold and silver members of part of the CatsNRats community are automatically entered. Please upgrade those memberships and please like 5 to 10 CatsNRats videos to be entered.
All right, Cody, we got just comment there from Clay in the chat. We appreciate having him on with us here. Here's his channel right there.
Yep. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, after 76 games of IR-filled hockey, the Florida Panthers are now eliminated from playoff contention. They will miss the playoffs for the first time since, according to the NHL, the 1920 season. This has been probably what I've kind of expected ever since late January, early February.
I have that other tweet there too, Cody. We're now an exclusive company with, I believe, the Carolina Hurricanes and the LA Kings in this, century?
Yes.
That way. So we are the 3rd team now to win the Stanley Cup and miss the playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes was the first team out of the post-deadlock, what do you call it? Lockout, thank you.
Post-lockout era?
Yeah, and then the Kings, was that on their 2nd Stanley Cup?
Yes, 2014.
Okay, yeah, where they missed it. And I think the Bruins missed it was that following year too when they won the President's Trophy, or
I
team in
think so.
that
I
was?
don't see that tweet in the After
You don't
Dark.
see it in there? I don't. Okay, it might have been somewhere in there if you could, but if you continue to look for it. But also, what's worse, like not making the playoffs after winning the President's Trophy, or not making playoffs after winning the Cup? I think it's after winning the Cup, personally.
It depends on the circumstances. Like in these circumstances for the
Might be
Panthers,
the Jets this year with the President's Trophy. Go ahead.
yeah, I think it's probably for me. It probably actually be President's Trophy.
Really?
Because
That's a
President's
good poll there, Ryan. Go ahead, Cody.
like for President's Trophy, I feel because since you've had such a great regular season, or what may say you, or whatever, doesn't mean you had a deep playoff run by any means. You could have been out first round, whatever the case may be. But it's just like when you miss after winning the Cup, you can at least sleep at night saying, all right, we have this Cup at least. Like for the Panthers, we have 2 of them. And
just to comment on Adonis here, though, just to jump in very quick, Cody, I think people were still picking them to make it.
I can't say that.
First wild card. And had them higher than I had them.
I was still on the train that we would make the playoffs even without Barkov because I thought, guys like,
and I know he's saying season. I get that.
Because we thought Matthew Tkachuk would have been back a month earlier than what he thought.
Beefcat here expecting them to be in the finals next year. A lot of things got to go right, guys. Like I'm talking, the questions that I have going into next year, whether Cody or Nick agree with me, it's Brad Marchand, it's the goaltending position, it's Dmitry Kulikov, a year older. How does our first pairing rebound? We got a lot of questions within the lineup itself. Barkov coming off the surgery. I think the other guys are fine. Reinhart, Tkachuk, all those guys have been injured. Erod, Seth Jones. I don't have questions there, but I have 4 or 5 questions on this lineup.
Yeah, but the Marchand thing I don't feel be as big because with Barkov back in the lineup, he won't be looked at in such a vital manner as he was.
We still need him to be a top 3-4 player for us next year. I feel
not necessarily
that. You think Gustav Forslin's going to be that? I don't think those guys. Our goaltender.
I think Verhaeghe has a chance to bounce back. Whatever new guy we
had
bring
him this year.
And guess what?
Verhaeghe to be a top 3-4 player on our lineup next year. I don't want to bank on that.
But I have confidence in Tkachuk going into next year, especially the way he's played this back half of this season.
You're correct. Yeah. But those questions, are you disputing any of those? Goaltending, Marchand, Kulikov, first pairing?
I think goaltending's my biggest one.
This first pairing ain't getting this leeway. Oh, they're playing a lot of hockey, so that's why they're not playing.
No,
you gotta bring it next year.
That's off the docket.
That's off the table.
It's top 3 to 4 player. Like for me, because you got a Barkov, Reinhart, Tkachuk. Those are your 3 right there, and I think you got to have Seth Jones. Aaron Eck, like Gustav Forsling, or even Sergei Bobrovsky. And I think you kind of start going down a bit, and you need to start seeing Anton Lundell start taking a little bit more of an offensive step. Just a bit more, maybe.
You don't want to sacrifice defense? That's fine to say that. I thought there's times this year that he showed it, maybe stalled out, but then the guys on the ice. Beefcat, are you talking top 3 in the division, top 3 in the conference, or top 3 in the NHL? Because I'll give you 3 different answers on that one.
I think top 3 in division is not far-fetched.
I'm comfortable with that. Top 3 in the conference to a degree with Tampa.
Well, if you're top 3 in the Atlantic, you're top 3 in the Atlantic, you're probably top 3 in the conference, most likely.
Top 3, no, because you're eliminating Carolina or anyone in the Metro.
Well, it's just Carolina, and then I'm eliminating everybody else in the Metro.
I'm not buying into some of those teams in the Metro next year that I did this year, like the New Jersey.
I don't know how the hell we're going to predict next year. I'm already thinking about it. Like, it's just like...
I think Atlantic. Remember the year I picked 5, and you're like, Kirby, that's a bit aggressive. Next year, 5 teams from the Atlantic make the playoffs.
It may be 5 this year. Like
almost a lock next year. If Montreal continues to do what they do, we rebound.
Like right now, it's 5 and 3.
Real, there's 4 right there.
Like right now, it's 5 and 3, and there's a 4-way freaking tie for the last wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
Ottawa's holding it right now with Detroit, Philadelphia, and Columbus all within striking distance. And if Detroit's got to make it this year, or there's
I don't want to go against our team, but I would probably bet against that with people top three.
It depends what our offseason
I got to see what our offseason looks like. Yeah. If we're getting Wallstead in net or we're getting Igor like Cody's pipe dream is, then I'll give you an answer to.
It's off-season trade deadline. Because here's the thing. I don't want to spend every ounce of money we have this offseason because I want to save some of that for the deadline.
But Cody, if people think that Bob was washed this year, Tarasov's not enough, how can they also, in the right frame of mind, pick us to be top 3 next year to win the cup if we don't have the goaltending situation figured out? I can't even go out from that length. Not to mention what
I don't think he's washed, but
right.
Like,
but still, like Bob is going to have to be on his game or whatever goalie's in net for us to be top 3 next year. I don't think we can do. Can you say no longer going into next year? This will be the first time in 4 seasons. I know what happened in the first Paul Maurice year, but we can't sleepwalk through the regular season. We gotta.
Oh no, we have to come out strong.
Different level of intensity and focus to not.
No, we need. This is one of the years we have to come out strong, come out swinging. You know, probably start out, probably have like just a good start to the regular season, and if you do that,
700 winning percentage.
Yeah, somewhere around there, and just kind of remain in the top 3 throughout like January, going to the All-Star break in February. Though, then if you're right around that, then you could maybe sleepwalk through March or whatever, or April sleepwalk, usually at the end of the season. And Adonis and
Cody was talking about Mackey off air with me, I think it was today.
And I'm going to give you the exact same answer I gave Kirby. It's actually increased now. I'm 85-15. I want him gone. And it's just
never been that high in percentage of wanting Mackey gone.
It's just not going to fit. And there are 2 guys definite that I want off the Panthers roster for 2 different reasons. Jesper Boquist, Mackey Simiskevich. Those are the 2. Because Mackey's not going to fit here. It's just not going to work. And it's really, a lot of it's the size. It's just too small, and he doesn't really play, and he kind of gets rattled too much. He needs to go someplace where he fits their timeline a bit more, allows him to develop, like a San Jose type or something, or Chicago. Like, I would trade him for a second at this point.
This is kind of where maybe Adonis is alluding to on this part here, where he fits, and I think it would be out west with teams out there.
I don't think he fits in the Panthers' future. I really don't. Like, I think this was his year to prove it. He had first power play. He had first line. He had second line. He had third line. He had fourth line. The minute Vilmanis started to look a lot better than he did was when I started to be out.
I'm with Adonis here. The major factor is we have Bill Zito. We talked about the Canucks with their mismanagement. We've talked about the Leafs with their mismanagement. This is the difference that separates the Panthers from the Leafs and the Canucks. The biggest difference is coaching and general manager management. That is the biggest difference. And you can get into ownership for what the Leafs are meddling with the MLSE because they're a whole conglomerate of all these other teams, and the Aquilina brothers, what they're doing there in Vancouver, whether it's a
Aquilini,
whether it's not Aquilini.
Yeah.
Yes. Aquilini. Lini. So again, they are, I don't know. I've heard they're causing a lot of disruption. So I know what Clay said.
I know they are. It's just
right.
That's just
yeah.
But for the Panthers, it's like Mackey. I want him gone because it just doesn't fit. You need to get rid of him while he has some sort of value. Because I think you could probably get a third or a second for him, and in a deep draft year, I think that's something you can look to do. Yes, for Boquist, I want gone just because. Hey, he's making $1.5 million. I'd rather go get a different guy.
Yeah, try some different. This is kind of rich coming from Jamie because Jamie always wants to create room that's not there. He's been saying here, so remember he's been saying this, Cody. We're in April now of 2026. He says we have no room. So interesting coming from Jamie.
That's right. Beefhead, are there any free defenders or wingers we can get? That's not the position I really want to look at. We're set at those positions for as long as I'm.
Me and Nick want a 4C. So Beef Cat, we want a 4C. I haven't dug into who the 4Cs are, but I'm not looking any higher than that because of salary, what we have in the system, and already it's not a need for us. So it has to work salary contract.
And unfortunately, if Barkov goes down, you can't be prepped. that's just something that's just
I don't
work.
think this team is equipped to, and I don't think pretty much any team almost would not be equipped.
I think
it would be similar to the Kings losing Kopitar in his prime.
If you have a top 5 to 7 center in this league, you will never be prepped to losing that guy. Like the Avalanche are not prepped to lose Nathan McKinnon. The Oilers are not prepped to lose Connor McDavid
or Draisaitl.
Yeah, like the Leafs, they're sure as hell not prepped to lose Austin Matthews. Like,
and they can't lose Nylander now because they don't even have offense that they had before.
Like the Lightning aren't prepped to lose Braden Point. Vegas isn't not prepped to lose Jack Eichel. That's just how it is. Like
you're only prepped to do that if you draft, like we talked about today, the Gavin McKennas of the world, the top guy. Like, oh, okay, now, or let's say Keaton Verhoff, if Aaron Ekblad goes down, okay, can we elevate you up the spot? That's how you do it, Cody.
Erod's not a 4C. Let's just stop this now. He's not going to be a 4C.
I think Erod moves back to the wing, and how you prep yourself to a small degree. I'm going to say small degree. You give Etu more draws in training camp at the center position. You make sure Erod is still getting those looks, but he's probably moving back to wing. You just get more guys activated.
Who is Jamie? Daniil Ayasev? Who the hell is that?
Daniil Ayasev.
I have no idea. Let me look back and announce that.
Is he making a new nickname for Teresa? I don't know who Daniil. Backup options for goalie. We talked about this on the latest podcast episode. Again, Stuart Skinner. You got Jordan Binnington there. We could have asked Clay a little bit on Demko. We kind of missed the boat on that. We did. I was going to bring up OEL as well with the Leafs, which I
Daniil Ayasev's currently, I guess Jamie says the Vezina winner in the KHL. 26-year-old Jamie. I already could tell you that's not going to work. You want to know why? He's only 6 foot. It ain't happening. This goaltending,
so that's out of question.
This goaltending excellence department loves big goalies. He's not a big goalie.
So I don't think this is the reason why, Jamie. There wouldn't be room for Mackey if the Panthers draft number 3. What if Stenberg goes 2, and then you have Verhoff, Reed, those guys that are 3. Malhotra, I don't know the Panthers would be looking there because I think he's a center. So I don't think that has any play with Mackey if we're taking a defenseman there, which I would hope they're keeping the pick and drafting Keaton Verhoff if Stenberg went 2. That would be interesting if Stenberg fell to 3, Cody, and we were picking 3.
I'd trade back.
Trade back? Like, where does he fit? I don't know. That's the thing, too.
I'd trade back.
No, that's interesting. And again, if they don't, and you get a guy like McKenna, Stenberg, because Stenberg can play on the wing, right?
He is a winger, left winger.
He is a winger. So that plays into the Panthers not going to dip into free agency to go look for wingers, which I think there is some names out there, Beef Cat, but like Cody mentioned, it's pretty slim and few far between. I don't think the Panthers are in on Alex Tuck, but they might be in on other guys. Is a guy like Jaden Swartz, isn't he a free agent? Guys of that level,
so, but
are they looking at that? I don't know.
I don't think they necessarily need it because right now, the way I see it, all the spots are filled up like Barkov, Erod, Reinhart, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Kachuk, Lundell, Lucerine, Marchand. Like your top 9's filled.
Yeah, it is. If everyone's healthy and coming back,
unless you're trading like a Verhaeghe or Erod type.
Well, Erod could get traded if you brought in a McKenna or Stenberg. While we're changing our plan of approach here now,
I would trade.
We would like to play one of those guys on Barkov's wing. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, Erod. That could change things.
But that's if we get.
It's filled, Cody, with the exceptions.
Yeah, but that's if we win the lottery and we get first overall, and we're just like, well. Damn, we have to draft McKenna now because if he's this generational level prospect, what are we doing?
Or if it goes McKenna, Verhoff, and then Stenberg's there and they like him or more than half of the room likes him, it's like, guys, we have to make a decision now with a trade.
Appreciate it, Bunny. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bunny. That's kind of what we talked about the Panthers. It's kind of what the talk will be down the stretch here. It's intriguing, Cody. You could say other things, but at least we have this pick in play. If we didn't have this pick in play, then we wouldn't be able to have this conjecture and talk. We don't know how it's going to play out. That's why we're talking all options here. We don't know where we're going to be situated. So we're going to be digging in on guys a little bit more. So I'll be digging in on some prospects a bit more from that 5 to 10 range. Sam Cosentino of Sportsnet just released his list. It was very interesting. I think Verhoff slipped to 5 on his list. So again, there's guys that could slip in the top 10 that are very good hockey players.
Erod or Etsu, who do you trade? Erod.
Erod, both of them have trade value, but I think Erod has as much as Etu does. I think Etu has
Etsu, I feel like
more value to us.
I think Pomo really values Etsu a little bit more.
Yeah, but again, Erod had a huge year. He is a guy that can put a W next to his name. Some other guys, not so much, whether they were in the lineup, hurt, or what have you. That's a guy that gets a W. Another guy does, AJ Greer, which we've talked about a lot, Cody. 15 goals now, I think, this year. How much money is he getting? There's no guarantees coming back to Florida just because they didn't trade him at the deadline.
Yeah, and if he asks for like 3, you can kiss.
Because you could say one thing as an agent, and I know what Cesar said, and other people have told us, he wants to stay in Florida. You could say one thing at the deadline. You could change your mind 2, 3, 4 months later.
Hey, I always have to do this analogy, but if for people that don't watch basketball, won't get it. But I'm gonna say because I'm a Celtic fan, Kyrie said he wanted to stay in Boston.
But did it? When he went to the Nets?
Yeah, he went to the Nets.
The Brooklyn Nets. The rich history of the Brooklyn.
Stepped on our logo. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he said that. Like
Caleb Malhotra, I believe he is a center. So I just don't know where that fit is there. That's where Panthers could trade back, trade the pick for an established NHL player, potentially goaltender. Like Cody, that would be a good trade. Some team wants Malhotra and they have a goalie to trade you. You're telling me that trade don't work out? Fans will be upset. Why did we give up that great Malhotra player? Well, what did we get back in return? It could be one of those win-win trades where Malhotra doesn't fit in with us, but the player that we're bringing in fits for our window now. And you make those tough trades. Hey, go back and watch our Seth Jones live stream. How many fans, how many people part of the community, outside the community, did not want to trade Spencer Knight? And look where it got us, our second Stanley Cup. And Seth Jones, man, that's a guy. Put a W next to his name this season, even with the unfortunate injury that he had at the Winter Classic.
Yep.
Anything else in the chat, or what do we got here?
Well, I mean, we in less than 12 hours from now, or in about 15 hours, the Panthers will be playing again in Pittsburgh, sadly. But
yeah, we will be live on Spaces Easter Sunday weekend. Happy Easter to everyone that is celebrating. We will be on Spaces postgame. I think it works out better for everyone that might have some family commitments. You're able to kind of listen in. If you can come on to speak, we would love to have you on. There'll be probably a lot of mics available. So if you'd like to come on and speak, we'd love to.
Adonis says, I'm worried. Something about Forsling. I'm skeptical on with Kirby regarding his future. Hope he's able to bounce back and be what I know he can be.
Now, I want to say I am with the first pairing. I don't want to just use it as Forsling.
It's more Ekblad I feel you have more questions about.
Yes, I have liked Ekblad as Cody will laugh at this, but it's true. I've liked Ekblad better as a player throughout his career than I have Gustav Forsling. Obviously, there's more sample size, more history there in Ekblad. But what the player is and what the player will become, I'm a lot more worried about Aaron Ekblad than Gustav Forsling. But Gustav Forsling has to play up to his potential. And if people value him as one of the best defensemen around the NHL, top 10, top 15, top 20, there should be expectation values that he's a top 5 player for us on our roster. So, he needs to play to that level, and he's been nowhere near a top 5 player for us.
Listen, and this was something that was said this season, and I want this to be on record for me right now. Gustav Forsling should not be looking to increase his offensive numbers. I could give a damn about that for Gustav Forsling. That's not what he's paid for. He's paid for to shut down the best guys night in and night out and be the first defenseman on our penalty kill night in, night out, and be on the ice for when we need to defend a 1-goal lead when there's an empty net at the other end, night in and night out.
And this is my big concern with Gustav Forsling, and I think Nick originated it, but I kind of brought it in to the forefront and mentioned it to our audience. Gustav Forsling goes as this team goes. And this team has not gone well this year, and he has not gone well this year. Can he change that narrative on nights we're not good, on weeks we're not good, on certain matchups we're not good, and be the best player on the ice for us and stand up? That's something I want to see from him. And I agree with Cody. I don't need to see all the offense and stuff. I need him to be present in every moment and be like, hey, he's one of our best damn players on the ice tonight, even when we don't have our A game or our B game. I need to see that from him, and that's a growth. A growth I saw from Forsling this year was he put his nose in there. He got in some battles. He got in some scrums. He got in some fights. I'm like, finally, Gustav Forsling, thank you for doing that. I think the next evolution is when your partner, Aaron Ekblad, doesn't have it one night. Hell, Barkov has an off night coming back from his major injury. You be the best player out there on the ice, okay? Stand up. Even if we don't get the W at the end of the night, you be one of the better players on the ice. So when we come into these post-game shows, Cody, I say Gustav Forsling had a hell of a game tonight, even though the team didn't.
Yeah, and with Gustav Forsling's at his best, the game's simplified. Everything's in front of him.
But if everyone around you is chaotic and everyone around you isn't playing well, and I talk about this as a basketball coach, you need to be the constant.
He needs to be the calming effect.
Yes, because that's how everyone envisions him as a person, as a player. You need to be doing that when there's chaos going on around. And you need to do that as a defenseman. You need to do that as a goaltender. Right?
Look, like in basketball, when the offense is a little bit too fast, it's up to the point guard to slow.
Yes. Yeah. I don't need my point guard to be the best player on the court that night, scoring the most points or, dropping the most dimes, but I need them to settle everyone down. And that's got to be Gustav Forsling's job next year. And that's not just to put it on Bob's shoulders or Barkov's shoulders. Like, we need that from Gustav Forsling. And we're going to need that from our goaltending position, whether it's Bob coming back, Tarasov coming back, whatever the situation is. I'm hoping at least one goalie will be Bob. We need that from our goaltender and that position as well.
And Beefcat, we understand that. Like, that's why, like, this year's kind of like a mulligan or whatever. But next year, that can't be the case. Because next year, we're not a back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Oh, yeah, we're a team that missed the playoffs last year.
We're not the hunted team anymore.
Like,
you guys might feel that, but that's not going to be
Jamie,
the word.
I'm sorry. I just don't like Ekblad with Mikkola. I don't like that.
Gustav Forsling and Seth Jones would have to be exceptional for that to work in my mind.
Yeah,
That's why I want a defenseman, the top of the draft. And if you give me a Keaton Verhoff, he can play with Kulikov. I'll
take Albert Smits at this point too.
Yeah, Albert Smits as well. He can play with Mikkola, and Verhoff can come up and play with Forsling. So you have that option. I think Smits maybe not to the level of Verhoff, but I think you could move him up.
Ekblad with Kulikov.
Well, you're really demoting Cody's guy now. Jamie, I think that might happen in 2-3 years' time, but you know what? I don't think Dmitry Kulikov's going to be around at that time. I would love that pairing, Cody, in 2-3 years' time, but I don't think Kulikov's going to.
Not with that variable contract.
He does have the lifetime achievement contract given to him, though. So,
yeah, I mean. Listen, once I saw the AAV, I was perfectly fine with it. I don't care.
I lost my mind when I saw the term. I was like, what the hell? I don't care about the AAV. I'm like, why so many years? And then Cody's like, it could be buried in the minors.
Like, and you were like, okay.
I guess we're doing that now.
And Kirby's like, okay.
We're back to Scott Darling.
Like, that made you feel a bit better. You're like, okay.
Yeah, it did. I'm like, okay. You're like, it could be fully buried or whatever. I'm like, okay. But it doesn't, you don't want to like make future contracts and compound that, which we kind of did arguably this summer. I think we gave out too much term, and maybe they'll do it again. I don't know, but it'll catch up to you at a certain point. That check becomes due, and that's when party's over, right?
Check ain't due yet, so
not yet,
as far as we know. But with Gustav Forsling, just needs to go back to simplifying things, keep everything in front of him. Like, he was at his best when he's playing 20, 21 minutes a night.
Yeah, he's not a guy that can play. I know you don't like him. You told me off air, Cody. Jordan Spence for Ottawa. I think he played 30 minutes the other night. So you're going to blame him? He's playing 30 minutes of hockey. I think he was. Check up a box score. That's what I heard. I was like, that's unbelievable. That's Drew Doughty territory.
Looking at Tank Watch here.
By the way, Ottawa, our guy Ryan in the chat. Ryan, appreciate you being here tonight. Our guy Nick. You guys are very high on Ottawa. You know they have 4 or 5 injuries on defense, and you know what the Ullmark stuff that's going on right now. I'm not buying into Ottawa.
And they just lost 4-1 here tonight versus the Wild. But
when I was watching Jesper Wallstedt, everyone, he was looking pretty good in net.
But the big loss today for a team, Detroit 4-1 to New York.
To start the day off, and I believe congratulations to Jonathan Quick. He will be retiring his final game, I believe, today.
Man, another legend of mine. I mean, a Gabe
Perreault.
So
they starting Igor every game down the stretch, or are they bringing another guy up?
Probably. But a Gabe Perreault hat trick?
Gabe Perreault. They've been waiting for him to get going.
Yeesh.
The problem with the Rangers is they needed a Kakko and Lafreniere and some other guys.
Yeah, and it's in this San Jose Nashville game is going a little crazy right now. San Jose was down 3-0, came back, but Nashville took the lead again 4-3.
Yep, Nashville hanging around the hover spot there. We're going to get into playoff scenarios next week with our guy Jersey Jim. Hopefully Nick will be back with us. It's going to be heating up. Trying to get a Red Wings guest on here too, Captain Lou. We haven't been able to schedule.
But shout out to Captain Lou on his retirement.
Yes, Captain Lou. He will be able to join us a lot more here now. So maybe he'll become like a semi-regular for us. Who knows?
But,
retirement.
But like I said, but stay tuned for tomorrow. We're on Spaces tomorrow after the game.
Yep.
Easter Sunday.
Oh, Monday we are planning a podcast episode, hopefully with our boy Zach Phillips from Leafs Nation. So
that's gonna be a funny podcast.
This Leafs talk is kind of leading into that. See how I build stuff here, Cody?
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, listen, the Leafs talk, like, they are not in a good spot right now.
Guys, we might get into real heavy Leafs talk, and people are going to roll their eyes. But we'll bring the parallels to the Panthers and what
it just may be a crying session for each of our team's failed seasons. But
no, Zach will not allow any tears from us or anything that's happened from us. When Nick comes on there, Zach's going to get mad if Nick starts going down.
Gosh, you have 2 cups. But anyway, we appreciate wrapping up here tonight. We appreciate everyone here for watching with us here tonight. Once again, shout out to our boy Clay's Canucks for joining us here tonight.
Yep.
Signing off here once again. Upgrade your memberships for that Anton Lundell Championship Puck contest. And then, but signing off here tonight for the absent Nick J. Levine, the absent Big C's, for Kirby and myself, we say thank you. And as always, let's go, Cats.